Hello friends, so in this video I will talk about how I go about living my rich life. Now the title of the video talks about me living a rich life. That doesn't mean I'm rich, and that is exactly the point of this video, which is despite not being mega rich, not being like a deca millionaire, how I go about living a rich life, a life which I feel fulfilled and I feel content and I feel happy and I feel rich. More importantly, I feel rich. So in this video, I will share with you how I go about living that life even with less money or even with spending less money. So number one way I live my rich life is buying once but buying high quality. Let's say if I have to buy a jacket, I live in North America, it's very cold here, and if I have to buy a jacket, I will buy a Canada Goose jacket. It's really expensive, but I know I will buy one jacket, it will last me very long, as against buying multiple jackets which don't last me very long and I have to replace them very often. Hence, it is better for me to buy high quality so I feel good, I feel content. Just because I know I bought something good, it lasts me longer and it also provides me good quality and good service that I am looking for. It is really warm, it is really good. Plus, it's good looking as well. It has a good brand, it gives me a good image as well with regards to the brand. Another example would be if I have to buy a jeans, I'll buy a Levi's versus buying multiple cheap branded jeans and then replacing them much often, or they get torn or they losing their fitting or something like that, which I don't feel good about. I wear them for a year and then I feel like changing and buying a new one just because after washing they don't fit like the way they should be fitting. Although I may feel that I paid less money upfront or the first time when I was buying the cheap brand, but over the long run, the amount of replacements that I will have to do or the unhappiness that I would have with that particular brand just because it doesn't look good anymore will cost me more. So I rather pay once, pay high, but pay for the best quality. On the same lines, another way I live my rich life is to buy expensive but buy less. So for instance, in my wardrobe, you will not find more than 4 shirts or more than 3 pants or more than 2 pair of shoes. I don't go about buying multiple shoes and multiple shirts and multiple pants. There are people who feel like changing a lot. Maybe it's the case more with the women than with men, but with men that's an easy part, which is you can have few shirts, high quality, high brand, top notch expensive shirts, but few of them, which one will last you longer, and second, given their high quality, they will look good to you as well. All the benefits from the point one that I made initially. But again, since you're buying high quality expensive ones, you won't be able to afford many of them, which is fine. I rather buy expensive high quality stuff but have few of them. Another tip that I have is if you are to buy tools, first buy cheap tools, very cheap tools. See if you need them only once or you need them for multiple use. So for instance, when I was setting up my home gym, I needed a torque wrench. It's an expensive set that I get. And I wasn't sure whether I will need it only for this one particular instance or I would be needing it in future as well. So I bought a very cheap one. I used it. I worked around because it was cheap. It was not the best quality, but I was able to manage that one thing that I needed to fix. But after using it, I realized that I am using or I'm needing this particular tool for other things as well. And suddenly my eyes open because I have this tool in my hand now. And suddenly I realized there are a lot of other things that I can fix in my home gym. And I was like, okay, now this is something which I will be using on repeated basis. And if there's something that you will be using on repeated basis and has a higher use, then you just go about buying an expensive one. And if in case I decided that was just one time that I bought and used it, it's fine. It doesn't hurt me much because I bought a cheap one and hence I can just get rid of it. But now when I know that I will be needing something on regular basis, this time around I went and I bought an expensive one. On the same lines, talking about my gym, when I was setting up my gym, initially I bought less equipment and cheaper equipment because I wasn't sure whether I would be able to maintain a home gym, whether I would be someone who would be going and attending my home gym on a regular basis. I was a gym goer for that matter and was not comfortable working out at home or in my garage. So I bought very cheap equipment and very simple light equipment like few dumbbells here and there. It is only when I was able to convince myself that this is something that I will be using in long run on daily basis and will have high utility because I would be using it regularly. Only then I went about spending a lot of money on my home gym, getting the best of the equipments, because now I knew I would be using it for a very long time. I won't be paying my gym membership further, and I was able to recover my gym membership in 1 year of that investment that I did. Next tip is my favorite one, which is you need to decide what you love the most and what you love the least. You love everything. You want to have that expensive car, you want to have that vacation, you want to have the eat outs as well. You love everything. I love everything. It's just that you need to decide what is that you love the most and what is that you love the least. Here it is also important, and I strongly suggest that you do this exercise with your partner. So here is what I did. I sat with my wife and we made a list together of things we love the most, like top 3 things, and 3 things that we love the least. We still love them, but we love the least. You know what came out at the top? It was traveling business. We are travelers, we love traveling, we travel far, and every time we travel, once we reach the destination, we travel with kids and we are tired. With kids in economy class, it is a tiring trip. You reach there, you're already tired on your vacation. You start the vacation with a tired trip, and by the time you're back, you're so tired because you took a flight, was on the vacation, coming back on economy flight as well, that you need a vacation after a vacation. So we decided that for us, rich life is to travel business. We love this. Now, but we can't afford this. So how do we afford this? Now we look at the things that we love the least. That was a car. So we had 2 cars and we just decided that we need to get rid of one of the cars. Although we needed 2 cars, there were instances, there were instances when we needed 2 cars, but not all the time. Not all 30 days of the month. It was just once, twice, or maybe thrice a month that we really needed 2 cars because there was a conflict where my wife needed a car as well and myself, I needed a car as well. But other than that, we were not requiring the 2 cars together. And we don't really like cars that much. Like, we love cars, we love having a nice car, but as I said, it's the least of the loves that we have. So we got rid of one of our car. And that's how we funded our business class vacations. That we got rid of one of the cars, so we save money there. So you save money on what you love the least and you invest money on what you love the most. If you don't run this exercise, you will never know because you've never given it a thought. One, you will never know what is your rich life. How does it look like? For me, rich life looks like traveling in a business class. That is my rich life. And for me, having 2 cars is not rich. Even if there are 3 cars outside, standing or parked, that's not my rich life. I don't feel rich about it. I feel rich about traveling business class. So I decided to get rid of the cars, bring down to 1 car, and then invest that money in traveling business. On the same lines, another tip that I followed is following my own path, doing what I enjoy, what I love, versus comparing with others. There was a time when I was young, I was foolish, I would compare with other people. I didn't know what I really liked. I would be just comparing myself with someone else, what their likeness was, what they loved, and I would just try to copy them. Because I never gave thought to what I enjoy, what brings happiness to me. Now here, let me give you an example. There was a time 10 years ago when one of my colleagues bought an expensive car for themselves. And they came to the office talking about the car, how much they spent on it, and such a luxury it was. And suddenly, I wanted to buy that car as well, without realizing whether it will bring me the happiness that I want or not. And I just went to the market in a month's time and I bought an expensive car for myself as well. 6 months down the road, I realized I'm not a car person. I don't enjoy cars. I don't know much about cars. And it was just an ordinary car for me after 6 months. Yeah, it was still better than the car I owned because it had some luxury. But the luxury was not remarkably significant enough for me to feel happy for very long. And in 6 months' time, my happiness was just gone. And I realized I don't really enjoy cars for that matter. It's just a matter of commuting from one place to other place for me. And then I just sold the car. And from that day onwards, I told myself and decided that I will never buy or invest in something out of pressure of comparison. I will do it if it brings happiness to me. And that is why, going back to the previous point, it is very important for you to make the list of things that you love, that you enjoy, as against now you going and saying, oh, because Behrouz said that he loves traveling business, I will start traveling business as well. Maybe this is something that you like, but it is not your top 3 things. Talking about traveling, another piece or another tip that I have is investing more in experiences versus products, which is also relevant for the example I gave of the car, which is eventually, once you own that object or that thing, you will stop enjoying it the way you thought you will enjoy it, or the way you enjoyed it on day one. While with experiences, you build dividends. You've taken pictures, you talk about it, you share it with your partner, you remember it, there are memories, it's fun. But the car that is outside, there is no memory about it. You bought it, you enjoyed it for the first 6 months, it was the best thing ever that happened to you, but then it just ends because you're on a hedonic treadmill. It's just normal or standard for you. But experiences, you kind of remember them and you talk about them, and they keep giving you benefits, or they keep giving you those dividends. And hence the ROI of investing, or the return of investing on experiences, is far greater than the return that you get by investing on objects or things. So here, every time I create a budget, I focus more of my budget on traveling, which me and my wife enjoy, as against buying things. Here comes the point on budgeting. It is very important that you budget. And this is how budgeting has helped me. When I started budgeting, rather, I didn't budget first. I would just track my spending. And I would want you to track your spending first before you even start budgeting, and see whether you spend in accordance with your values. For that matter, you first have to decide what your values are. So for instance, for me and my wife and my family, we called out that our values are fitness first, then family, then freedom. Fitness is health, mental. Second, family is, for us, when we call investment in family, it's more about spending time with family together, which also, by the way, includes for us travel time or vacation time. And third, freedom is saving. So I wanted to make sure whether I am spending in line with my values or not. So when I started tracking my spending, I realized that I am spending a lot on, let's say, grocery. Now, grocery is not part of my fitness. You can call it, it is part of fitness from a nutrition point of view, but the amount of money I was spending on grocery wasn't. It was not part of my family time, nothing to do with vacation or anything, and neither the freedom. It is not the money that I'm saving, I'm just spending that money. Similarly, car, spending the money on car, I realized I was spending a lot of money on car, which has nothing to do with fitness, which has nothing to do with family, and it has nothing to do with freedom. And after tracking, I realized that I'm spending my money the wrong way. And that is why it is not bringing me happiness. So it's not about me just increasing the amount of spending that I have to do. I just need to reallocate the spending so I can be happy. So I don't need to go and do 2 jobs and create more passive incomes. The income I have, I just need to spend it in a way which is accordance with my values and brings me happiness. My last tip is do what you love, which is, as long as you are doing what you love, that is your rich life, because you're having fun. For me, making these videos, doing blogging is what I enjoy the most. This is my rich life. This moment that I am here making this video is my rich life, because this is the time that I enjoy. So what I do is I create more and more time in my day where I can invest that time doing this, which I enjoy the most. I made a separate video on how I go about creating time. You can check out that video. I will leave the link to that video here. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully after watching this video, you will be able to pick 1 or 2 nuggets that you can apply in your life as well, in order for you to now start living your rich life. Thank you. In case you like this video, I'm sure you will also find value in another video which I created, where I talk about how I intend to reach my financial freedom. What is my journey? You can find the link to that video here. Other than that, I have another video where I talk about investments. How do you find the right investments in the stock market? You can find the link to that video here. Thank you.